What's up, guys?
It's Monday and Miracle Monday.
Woo!
Yay.
Welcome to us, to 2024, because when we were filming our last episode, we weren't in 2024 yet.
Good point.
So here we are in the new year. And really, it's like a really big welcome back because Angelica was gone
For 2
what
weeks.
felt like forever. It was the longest. Is that the longest you've been away since you've moved here?
I don't think so.
Sure felt like it.
Yeah. It did to me too. It honestly felt like I was gone for a month.
Yeah. I kept texting her and I was like, do you think you'll come home soon? When are you going to come home? What's your plan? When are you coming home?
I'm the worst person to be friends with if you're a planner like her, because I'm just kind of like I can plan some things, but some things are just like, okay, I'm a spontaneous planner. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I might leave this day or this day, but we'll
Right.
see. And it ends up being like the third day after the first two that I said it might be.
You're like, you know you're going to leave.
Yeah.
That's the plan. I'll
Yes.
leave sometime.
Literally.
Don't know when.
I've gotten to the point where I hate plans. Like, I hate to make, not stuff like that, but in general, like, I hate to make plans with people because that means when the time comes, I have to do it. And I don't know how to get out of it if I, like,
Yeah.
decide that on the day of, I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
Not that, again, like I said, that's not about that situation.
Right.
But just with planning in general, like, I just don't like knowing that it takes the fun out of it for me if I know I have to do it. Like, there was this one time I was trying to meet up with this girl I was friends with in high school. And in the moment, I'm like, oh, yeah, that would be fun. Like, let's go get some food and talk, whatever. We haven't seen each other in, like, 5 years. But then, like, the day before came, and I was like, how do I get out of this? I don't want to do this at all. Like, I literally... There's nothing that I hated more than the fact that I made that plan. And I can't even describe it. It's not that I didn't want to meet up with her. It's just like, I don't know. I just did not want to do it anymore. It's like weird.
That's so interesting.
And you know what's so crazy?
What?
She didn't want to either because she came up with an excuse.
No way. I was
Yeah.
going to say, did you still go?
No. I probably would have, but she said something and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God.
Yeah, I kind of am the same way as far as like when it gets close to the plan, especially if it's with people I'm not super comfortable with or like that I don't spend a lot of time with. The day before comes and I really regret it.
Yeah.
But I always try to push myself to do it anyway, just because I know like I'm too in my head about it and like it will probably be fine.
That's very true.
And that's how I was like with small group when I started going to small group this year. Last year. I mean, you know, you were there the first night and I was like, I don't want to go.
Props
but I
to you.
still went all by myself. It was so scary. But like now it's chill. I like going. I like those people. One of them just had a baby. I'm going to bring her a meal next week. And it's just like,
That's so sweet.
that's just like I'll regret it more, I think, if I wonder. Like if I
Yeah.
sit home and wonder like, man, did I just let my anxiety take over, or would that actually have been a good time? Like, or is this legit? Like, I don't know. I think that there have been some times when I've canceled and it's been really legit. There was one time, I don't know what in the world happened, but it was for Tessa's bachelorette party. It was going to be in Michigan. It was in Michigan. And I was just going to go, like, leave at super early in the morning and go. And I woke up that morning and I was like, I can't leave. Like, there was something in me that was like, I cannot leave yet. And I was like having a panic attack and I was like talking to my mom about it and I was like, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. And it wasn't about anything. Like, obviously I want to go up to Michigan to be with Tessa for her bachelorette party. That's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
And so finally my mom was like, what if I just went with you? And I was like, you're crazy. I was going to be staying at Tessa's house. I was like, where are you going to stay? So she came with me and she like rented this little motel down the road.
That's so cute.
And get this. We were in a car accident on the way there.
Oh, so you knew. See,
Isn't that crazy?
yes, but that's sometimes why I don't like doing things, because if I have like the slightest feeling that,
Yes.
like, even when it came to me coming home on New Year's Eve, like, I kept thinking about
Yes.
drunk drivers.
Yes.
And then you had a dream
Yes.
the night before about drunk drivers before I even said anything about it.
Yes. It was so like, it was super, super minor. But like if I had been alone and that happened to me,
You
I
would
would
have
have
been freaked out.
panicked. I would have been so freaked out. I would not have made the rest of the drive, I don't think.
Yeah.
But my mom was with me and it was like a motorcycle in front of us just like toppled. It was so crazy to watch and see. So we pulled over, called 911. The bike hit the back of our van because he was in the left lane and we were in the right lane, and his bike like tipped over just as we were like next to each other. So it just like whipped us in the back. It didn't really like do much damage to the car. There were like some dents and scratches and stuff, but I mean, for the most part, it was fine, and he was totally fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Because that would have been
crazy.
Traumatic too. If
Yes.
it went any other way.
Yes, it was so crazy. So like things like that, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk myself out of this anxiety. Like this feels real. I don't know. Sometimes there's just a difference.
Yeah, that's funny because the people's house I was at, I was talking to her about how sometimes it is hard to tell the difference between like discernment and like OCD or anxiety or whatever. Because it is like sometimes you really do like suddenly get like what do I do? Like, is this fear or is this like actually like, am I supposed to not do this? But in situations like that where it's just like you kind of just hate the fact that you made a plan at all.
Yeah.
I think that's different. But
yeah, I think that there are like questions to ask yourself, like, okay, because for me it was like, okay, I was looking forward to this trip. Like, this was going to be a good time, and I was excited to see Tessa. I was excited to see the other girls that were going to be there, and like we were going to go we went mini golfing. It was glow in the dark mini golf. It was amazing.
I hate mini golf.
I love it. I can't, that just feels like so long ago. I can't remember everything that we did. We went out to a nice restaurant and stuff. And then we watched Grease. We just came home and watched. It was such a like chill bachelorette party because that's just who Tessa is. But anyway, so I was looking forward to it. So I was like, why do I feel this way? Like, this is something that I want to do. Why am I so anxious? And that, I think, is the difference. Like, because if there was in that situation where you're like, why don't I want to do this? I don't really want to like leave the house. It's kind of uncomfortable to be with somebody that I haven't really talked to in 5 years. I don't really know how to get out of conversation. So that's going to be awkward. And then you can like identify better if it's like something that's real. Like, oh, I just hit my teeth. I probably chipped my tooth.
That last
I know. I was watching that back and I saw it happen on the screen and I didn't even react.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, I missed that. But yeah, that's just a way like to really interrogate your feelings and be like, why am I feeling like this?
Yeah, that's true. But there's just some things that I'm like, I feel like I should not do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do have to pay attention to all of those feelings though.
Yeah.
Or not even feelings. It's not like even a feeling. It's like a genuine like thought. Like you can like feel it in your gut sometimes. I think that's one big teller is like, it's not just like your head. It's not just like anxiety. It's like you have this feeling or this thought, or like when you said that about the dream, like that was confirmation for me,
right,
that I probably shouldn't drive that day.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because here I am today. Like, imagine what could have happened. Like, it's like a Monday miracle.
I know. Like,
you
we don't
never
know what could have happened. Like,
Yeah.
if you had just ignored that feeling, or if I hadn't told you about that dream or whatever.
So many different situations like that.
To clarify, I had a dream about like a bunch of drunk drivers being on the road on New Year's Eve, which was the day that she was supposed to come home. So it was like the day before New Year's Eve I had that dream, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then she texted me and said, I don't think I'm going to come home tonight because of the, like, I don't want to be on the road when there's potentially like drunk drivers out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had a dream about that. So that's the confirmation that she was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, we just went off on a whole tangent.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the
Beauty of a podcast.
Yeah. So what we want to talk about today, other than plans, is
what we had planned to talk about.
we want to talk about how to overcome the like post-holiday funk and just kind of like give you guys some
winter pointers.
Yeah, some pointers and stuff that we're trying to do, like stuff that has helped us.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I think one of the top ones for me is to just like, I really am diving into like my hobbies. So like reading, I've been listening to a ton of podcasts, and crocheting. I made my mom a sweater for Christmas. I can finally say that on the podcast because she watches the podcast. And there were times when I was like, oh, I can just crochet during the podcast. And I was like, no, I don't want to have to explain that to her. But I made my mom a sweater for Christmas, and I'm going to make myself
cute.
a matching sweater because that's what I want to do. And that's like one of my favorite winter activities. Last January, I crocheted a sweater, and it was amazing. And then in December, I crocheted a sweater, and it was amazing. I also want to teach myself how to knit. That's like
Your
I
next
think
thing.
That's my next thing. I got, oh my gosh, where is it? It's right there. I got this bag today from Amazon. This thing is full of crochet needles. I'm so excited. So that's like my number one tip, is to just really embrace your hobbies in the winter time, especially your indoor hobbies.
Yeah, because you don't really have time necessarily to do that when it is summer and stuff, because I feel like we spend our summers with so many different plans. And
Yeah.
like, since it doesn't get dark out early, you kind of do things later in the day, and then by the time you get home, it's like, wow, I'm actually tired and ready for bed, versus now it's like after it's dark out, you don't even want to be out anymore. So it's like, at least you can actually put your time towards the things you say you want to do. Like for me, like I'll come home and around like 6 or whatever time, and I'll work on like editing videos, or we'll film a podcast or whatever. We just put that time into the things we know we need to do or we want to do, like hobbies or this type of stuff. But one thing we started doing early on was going to the gym, and we're about to get back into the gym. But
yeah, obviously because she was gone and because it was the holidays,
lots of
so many
stuff, yeah.
things. I'm sure everybody can relate to that.
Yeah. New year, new us.
Yeah.
We're going to be consistent in the gym. But yeah, so it was like the beginning of the time change. We were going to the gym early, like 7:30 we'd go to the gym. So we would just overall start our day earlier. So then it felt like at the end of the day, like when it would get dark, it's like
We lived a whole life in
Yeah.
one day.
we're like, wow, we already got so much done. Like I would be like, I've already done so much by 12, and normally I would just like be going out of the house at 12 or like whatever. And yeah, it really did change a lot for us to like get out earlier, start with the gym, because I used to do the gym at like nighttime back when I did it a couple years ago. And yeah, it's just nice to start out your day like that, because it really feels like a big accomplishment. And then everything else you do after that is like, man, I'm already doing all this. And then it's
Yeah.
like 2:00 and you already feel like you had a whole day.
Yeah.
So then you still have a few hours before it's dark out.
Yeah, I used to hate it. I still hate it when morning people are like, oh my gosh, you have so much more time in your day. Like, okay, but I can stay up late and have the same amount of time in my day. But it's different because like places close.
Yeah.
Like if you want to run errands, you can't. Like unless you go to a 24-hour Meijer, and then it's questionable.
They have those?
Yeah, ours is 24 hours.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you how I found that out later.
Wow. Sketchy.
But yeah, it was so annoying when people would be like, "Oh, I started getting up so much earlier and I'm so much more productive," and da 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 da. But it's true.
It is.
Oh,
It is
I hate
true.
to prove them right, but it's true.
It really is true.
I told Laura
I
and
was-
Sarah when we like started doing that, I was like, you guys, because they used to get up super early. It was like 4 a.m. or something.
I could never
stupid.
do that.
It was crazy. It didn't last for very long. But when they were doing it, they were like, our days are so full. And so when we started doing that, I was like, you guys, I hate to say it, but getting up early really is the trick. And they were like, I know.
There's just something about it. Like, I was never like that either. Like, I was never a morning person. Even when I
Yeah.
had to wake up early for work.
Yeah.
When I worked at Five Below, sometimes I would have to be at work, like, super early. During Christmas time, sometimes it could be, like, 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then normal times, it was, like, 6 a.m. But that was, like, spending your whole day at work. Like,
Yeah.
6 a.m. to, like, 2, 3, 4, 5 at times. Like, depends on the shift.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that felt completely different. And that was like, I had to do it.
Right.
It wasn't like I'm getting up early, I'm doing all this stuff. And since I do delivery work, it just like works better for me that way, because I'm still going to work no matter what, but I might not go out till 3 p.m. if I don't have to, you know? So when I
Yeah.
go to the gym, it just makes me go out earlier, and then I get it over with, and then I come home for lunch sometimes, and like,
Yeah. And then you go back out.
yeah. So it's nice.
And also, like, it gives you, especially during the winter like this, it's like you get more daylight hours.
Yeah.
when you're working, because if you don't go out till 3, then okay, you got like 2 hours maybe
Literally.
with daylight, and then it's like,
And I'm like,
okay, I'm
I'm
gonna go
scared.
home. Yeah. But yeah, getting up early, it's actually effective, and I hate that. I hate it. I hate that it's effective.
Yeah. I think like 4 a.m. would be crazy because that means you have to go to bed
Yeah.
early too. And I don't want to be the person that goes to bed at like 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I just don't I don't like ending my night early. Like even when we wake up at 7, I'll still go to bed at like 11:30, 12, and that to me is like a good schedule. I would never want to have to go to bed earlier because it's just like I still feel like the nighttime until like 11 is still a lot of time in the day that you're like missing. I don't know. It's probably the opposite of people who were like morning people. Where they're like, you're missing out on so much in the day. But I'm like, but there's still so much left in the night, especially when that's sometimes when it's the most quiet time to be able to like work on stuff.
I mean, I like to end my days at 10 p.m. 10 o'clock, the day's over.
That's okay.
Oh, thank you.
As long as you don't go to sleep till like 11.
Yeah.
You don't ever go to bed that early. Maybe when I'm here, you don't go to sleep that early.
Yeah, when you were gone, Christmas Day, let me tell you about this actually. On Christmas Day, I came home from my parents' house. I got here at like 7, and I sat on the couch for a little while. I was so tired. I sent you guys a haul video, and then I went to my room and I laid down on my bed and I fell asleep, and I woke up at like, I think it was like 9:30 or maybe 10. And I woke up long enough. I woke up because Catherine texted me to tell me that she was just getting home from her Christmas. So I woke up, I went in the bathroom, brushed my teeth, washed my face, went back in my room, changed, went to bed. It was like, I don't know that it was even 10 p.m. yet.
Okay, but Christmas is completely different.
So exhausting.
I was so tired. I couldn't even recover the next day. Like I
know,
was
that's how
so
I was
tired
too.
for like 2-3 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
It took me that long. Like I was so dead.
Me too. I don't know. This
was
year was
terrible.
rough. Well,
Yeah.
I had to stay up really late. I was up until 3:30 finishing my mom's sweater. And I slept on their couch, so I didn't get good sleep. And so it was like I was recovering from that, but also just recovering from, I don't know, all the stimulation is like different at Christmas.
You should have been at Christmas
That's
where
true.
I was at.
You're so right.
Well, while we're on this topic, let's share how our Christmas and Eve and Christmas went.
I
And
thought you were going to say Easter for a second.
nope, not there yet.
Mine was good. I just went to my parents' house. It was just the 4 of us, me and my parents and my sister. My brother couldn't make it this year. That was honestly very sad. I was really upset about that. But tickets were really expensive.
Insane.
So insanely
They were
expensive.
insane.
It was like $1,200. So
somebody's rent.
yeah. And like, it's so stupid because it's the holidays. But anyway, we got to FaceTime him, which was nice. But yeah, it was just like, so our holidays are like the most boring. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like a lot of people go really crazy hard on the holidays. Not my family. This is a day of rest for us. We just like get up. My parents and I got up early and had breakfast, and then when Ariel got up, we did the rest of our day. And by 6 o'clock, I was leaving because our day was over.
I feel like Christmas Day is like more of a, after you open presents, it is more of a chill day normally.
Yeah.
But Christmas Eve is usually different, at least for us.
Christmas Eve was a little bit hectic for me.
Yeah.
It was like I had church. It's hard when it's on a Sunday. But yeah, I had church, and then Ariel and I went shopping to get like last minute food stuff for Christmas, and then I was here crocheting for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours because I was trying to finish my mom's sweater.
Oh yeah, that's actually very
It was
hectic.
so hard. I was like, I watched so many episodes of the Walter Boys. So many episodes. And then I went to Catherine's house for like a couple hours, and then I went to my parents' house. So it was just like I had a lot of things to do.
Yeah, our Christmas Eve, we were at like a family friend's house. And so Christmas Eve was filled with tons of people.
Yeah.
It was...
Didn't you drive on Christmas Eve too?
Oh, yeah. I did drive there 8.5 hours, basically. Drove there. And then I get there, and it's people that I've met before, but it was years ago. Like, I was a kid.
Yeah, that's
And they
hard.
have a bunch of new kids and everything. So I come in the house, and it was just like my family. And then the whole entire family plus extras came to the door to Carol at their own house.
That's so funny.
I know. And it was like all of them. And so then I hurry up. I was watching them carol because I was at the front door. and and I hurry up and try to walk away once they start to come in. And my parents are like, "Here, Angelica, come in. Let's introduce you." And I was like, "Right now?" And I'm telling you, it was so many people. At least like 10 people at the door.
That's overwhelming.
And I had to be introduced to all of them. And like reintroduce and have conversation and everything. And like it wasn't as bad as it might sound, but it was still like, I was like, oh my gosh, it was all at the same exact time. But everyone was really cool, so
and it
made it easier.
She was sending me like Snapchats. Oh, well, all the girls were sending me Snapchats and videos and everything, and they looked like they were having just a blast. Like Catherine was watching your videos and she was like, "Who are these people?" And I was like, "They're old family friends." And I was like, Jill, like, is just meeting the younger kids. And she was like, they act like cousins. Like, they've known each other forever.
For real. It was like that pretty much the first night. And then it just progressed more after that. But
yeah.
So we like played games. All the boys jumped in the pool, even though it was like 40 degrees.
Oh my gosh, that's cold. Yeah. That's supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Well, I couldn't do an ice bath. I know that. Jumping in the pool and getting out, maybe, but I didn't do it. So clearly it's probably not. Oh, and I did say if there was a hot tub, like if I could just go in a hot tub after. Which honestly, that would probably be bad for your body. Hurt. Because it'd be like freezing and then hot in your body. But anyways, so we actually had a lot of fun. And we had dinner. My mom made dinner and everything. So Christmas Eve was really fun. It was like hectic, but in a good way. Yeah. I mean, the drive was long. I was so tired and in pain and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Christmas Day, oh my gosh. There was 6 of them and there was 6 of us. And so we all opened presents one by one because it was too stressful to do it all at once. And so that's 12 people going through and opening presents. And, like, the kids were like, oh, my gosh, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
So we did one round where we all just opened presents at the same time. That was the worst experience ever. It was so stressful. You're trying to see what you have. And then, like, everyone else is opening presents. And you want to see what everyone else got.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, no, absolutely not. I would rather, like, just do it one by one the rest of the time. So, yeah, we were opening presents for hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Probably, like, 4 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It went on forever.
That's crazy. I think it took, well, I mean, there were only 4 of us.
Yeah.
It took us less than an hour to do our presents. And we do it one by one, obviously, because there's 4 of us. And it was just, it's always just very quiet. Very
so
calm.
Quiet. I cannot imagine.
I know. I think if you and Catherine, like, came, even if you came to a big family event in Texas, you would both just die. Because we'll just stand in silence.
Oh, God.
There'll be 20 of us. Nobody's talking.
That's weird.
My Aunt Lori married into the family. It drives her nuts. And she's like, this is so uncomfortable. She's an Enneagram 7. And so she can't stand it. And she just vibrates out of her skin. It's very funny.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I would not.
Like, I don't think I'll ever go to Texas.
I'm used to the chaos. So it's like even though I can sometimes get overstimulated still, I'm still, like, used to it.
That's what you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, so I'm, like, I might be overstimulated, but, like, also this is so normal.
Yeah.
Like, and this was just, like, normally we have a loud and big Christmas because there's 7 in our family, so, but that was, like, literally times that. So, yeah, but I was just texting Mariah, like, you would be so done.
Yeah, it's so funny how, like, I would be so, like, exhausted with your family, and with my family, you would be, like, so uncomfortable and just like
I would
just like I think you know how you just like laugh in uncomfortable situations. I think you would just be laughing
the whole entire time.
Like I just remember this one time at my grandpa's like visitation. We were getting ready. This was in September. We were getting ready at my aunt's house, and we were all standing. We were waiting for my cousin to get back from the grocery store, and so we were waiting to eat. and it was just the immediate family. So it was me and my cousins and my aunts and uncles, and we were all standing around in the kitchen. Nobody was saying a word. Just silence. And I remember standing there, and I was trying not to laugh because in my mind I was thinking, man, if Jell and Catherine were here, they would be like so uncomfortable. And then my cousin got there from the grocery store, and then it was like, okay, everybody can eat now. And then we all just silently got our plates.
Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. I really can't even imagine that. I've never been in a quiet situation.
Yeah,
except for your house. Anytime I've been to your house,
I know
it was always very quiet.
it's like that, but add 15 people.
That's absolutely tragic.
I'm so
Sorry
funny.
to any of that family that's watching. I may not come and visit you. I'm just kidding. I would get over it.
What about your New Year's? What did you guys do for New Year's?
The kids all got like fireworks and stuff, and they had like Roman candles and like a bunch of different stuff like that. So we were setting all of those off, and we kind of just waited around until it hit 12. I mean, we had food. My mom made chicken wings and
Pigs in a
pigs in a blanket, and which other people call that different things, but it's a little hot dog in like a croissant basically, and it's like baked and it's like delicious. I don't know why
We had
it's just
those
so
at
good.
Catherine's aunt's house, and her grandma, I can't remember what her grandma called it.
There's another
Little Smokies. She called them
Oh.
Little Smokies. I'd never heard that before.
Little Smoky. That's so cute. You want a little Smoky? But yeah, and so we ate and everything, and then we set off all the big fireworks. It was fun. So then I had to go to bed immediately because I was leaving the next morning, and I was waking up
Yeah.
at like 7 a.m. And so then I went to bed. What about you?
I went to Catherine's family's, almost at Thanksgiving. I did that too. Catherine's family's New Year's. And it's also like being with her family is also like out of my comfort zone. I'm way more comfortable now than I was 6 months ago. But they also have just such a huge family, and everybody is always talking at the same time. There's like 1,000 conversations happening at once. And there's like 5 million little kids running around. The first holiday I spent with them, I was like, I do not know how to handle this. But I kind of have like definitely eased into it and settled into it now. But yeah, we didn't really like do anything crazy. We just talked, we ate, and then talked and talked and talked and talked. And all the little kids were like, some of them were doing karaoke. Some of them were like, who knows what they were doing, honestly. One of them came out with her arm. She was 4. She came out with her arm like outside of her pajamas. Like she had like a button-up pajama shirt on. Her arm was out of her pajamas, and she was like running around. And I was like, "Do you need some help with that?" And she's like, "No." And she was trying to get it back in, and she couldn't. And she was like, "Yes." And so I like helped her put her arm back. It was just so funny. And we had the football game playing games. I don't know. I think there were multiple. And there were like only a few people watching it. So toward midnight, this was so funny. Somebody like changed the channel so that we could like see the countdown and see the ball drop and everything. And so it got really close to midnight. We poured glasses of like sparkling apple juice or whatever, and we were all getting ready, and we were looking like waiting. And then somebody was like, "It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock." And we were like looking at the TV, and like nothing was happening. It was just like the news. And we were like, what's going on? And then the dad of the house was like, "I told you guys this wasn't live TV." It was so funny. We were like, what is going on? And so like her aunt and I were talking, and we earlier in the night we had talked about how like Y2K has really like taken the joy out of New Year's for us because we just get so stressed. It's like PTSD from Y2K. And so then she was like, well, we didn't have a countdown, so that kind of like took the stress out of it. I feel fine going into this year. It was just so funny. We tried to burn the Christmas tree, which I had never seen before, and apparently it's supposed to be like whoosh, like engulfed, but it didn't happen. I don't know why. So
That's unfortunate.
I still really haven't seen a Christmas tree burn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So back to the
Topic at hand.
back to the topic at hand, the winter blues. What you can do about it?
Mm-hmm.
What other tips do you have?
Great question. I think just like be really intentional that's something that I learned last year, is that like spending intentional time doing the things that like are comforting really helps to like get you through the winter. Laura and Sarah and Catherine and I did like winter activities last year, and this year we've been like thinking up what can our winter activities be this year.
That'll be fun.
Just like fun things that we can do together inside and like be just cozy together and nothing like super involved. Just like, I guess, so the people in the Netherlands call it hygge, and that means cozy. And that's like a theme of their winter, is like everything is like cozy and intentional and warm. And that's kind of like how I want to go into the winter now, is like not dreading it, but just like accepting it for the season that it is, and like accepting that life is cyclical and we're always going to have winters and we're always going to have summers, and it's just going to like keep going. And there's things that you do in the summer and there's things that you do in the winter, and it's winter isn't just waiting for summer, which I have always been doing. I've always spent my winters just like waiting for it to be summer.
Yeah.
But like I think slowing down and just really intentionally like accepting winter is a game changer too. I will still complain about the cold.
Yeah.
No matter
and
what.
And complain about it getting dark early.
Yeah. Because it's terrible.
Yeah.
But there's like a reason for it.
But at the end of the day, you know, there is still good things about winter.
Yes.
Like we get to be in hoodies and sweatpants and not be hot. And we get to have hot coffee and hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And stuff that we normally wouldn't really enjoy in the summer because it'd be too hot for it.
Yeah.
And so there are little things. We can go ice skating.
Yeah.
Which is so fun. So there is some good things, you know. You got to find the mundane miracle in the winter.
Exactly.
And I also like to think about how fast time goes.
Yeah.
So this is something I have to remind myself all the time. I'm not good at it. But why wish it away? You know? Like every time it's winter, you're just wishing it for it to be summer. And then when it gets too hot in summer, you're wishing for it to be like fall.
Yeah.
And then it's like we spend so much time like wishing for it to be something else, and it's like that's why time goes by so fast.
Yeah, because we have to learn to be present.
Yeah.
And appreciate the moment.
And it's like, so what that it gets dark out earlier? Like, big deal. Literally before we know it, it's going to be a new year again. Like, this year went by so fast.
Yeah, it did.
And, like, we didn't get to accomplish probably everything we wanted to originally at the beginning of the year, probably because we were, like,
waiting for the next season.
I can't wait for spring so I can actually go out and, like, film. And it's like, no, why don't you go out and film now? You can film inside. You can go... Still, you could bundle up and you could still just brave the cold and film anyways. The snow is a beautiful backdrop.
Yeah.
So when it snows, you can get good pictures, good videos. I don't know. There is just a lot. Like, yeah, like you said, I'm still going to complain about it getting dark early, and I'm still going to complain about the cold. But thank God the heat works, and my car's a friggin' 99 and the heat still works. So I thank God for that, because imagine you get in your car and you just have to freeze the whole way to wherever you're going. So there's a lot to still be thankful for and still just like appreciate the moment that you're in.
Yeah, totally. And also like when it's summer, we're like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. And like we find our own things to complain about in the summer.
And then there's so much bugs.
So many bugs,
mosquitoes,
so many bees.
And sunburn and like
yeah, there's always something.
Yeah. Basically like we just need fall and spring to be all the time. Just kidding. Because I love that. Yeah,
all the seasons.
Yeah. At the end of the day, God made them for a reason. So.
But yeah, I already feel like this year is going by fast. Like I look at my calendar.
Is it the 4th already?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I know.
I just got here. It was the 1st.
Yeah.
And now it's the 4th. It's been 3 days.
Yeah.
How?
I know. And then we're moving next month.
Yeah.
And it's like I look at my calendar and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much like coming up.
Yeah.
And I was like writing out like some of the stuff in my planner for the year, and I was like, man, like if you break everything down by quarters, your year's gone. Like it's over already.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that's why you have to like anchor yourself in the moment and appreciate the moment that you're in and take time to like really soak it in.
Yeah.
Time goes by so fast.
I think that's honestly the best advice. Just kind of appreciate the moment you're in and just live in it and stop wishing time away.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. What's your mundane miracle of the week?
That we have a website. We've worked really hard on this website, and I'm really excited. It launched last week, and
So proud of her.
it was kind of a surprise launch. I mean, it wasn't a surprise to us. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen, but we just didn't really like tease it anywhere. It was just like suddenly there was a website, and so you can go there to find all of our episodes and blog posts on, I don't know what day it's coming out, to be honest, but sometime soon. I think it's next Friday. So when you're listening to this, it will be Friday. The next blog post is going to be posted, and it's actually going to go deeper into how to beat the winter blues. So I give tips, ideas, stories, and stuff like that. So check out the blog, check out the website.
Mariah's always wanted to make blogs.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that she's finally in that era.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I'm so proud of her.
So we've got
The website looks so good.
We've got the blogger and the vlogger.
Yeah.
We each have our strengths.
For real. It's
Yeah.
awesome, actually. That's a mundane miracle right there.
It is. So mundanemiracles.com. Check it out. I'm so excited about it.
I am too. Well, my mundane miracle was that I made it home safely.
Amen.
I drove over 9 hours home because I drove from here to Pennsylvania, and then from Pennsylvania to North Carolina, and then North Carolina to here was the longest drive I've ever done alone. It was over 9 hours. And yeah, so thank God I made it. Thank God I stayed awake.
Mhm. Yeah, for real.
And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you never know what could happen. So thank God that nothing did happen.
I'm so happy you're home.
Oh, I'm so happy I'm home too.
Sometimes when she was gone, I would get off work and I would just sit on the couch and be like, now what should I do?
Yeah, and then it goes back to just being quiet.
Yeah. It's so weird how, like, I lived alone and then I've lived with you for like 6 months. And when you're gone, it's like my life stops.
It's so funny. I think I fill up a lot of space. I don't know if that's always a good thing.
It is for me.
Good. I'm glad you appreciate me.
I do.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week.
Peace.